Hello, I'm Rich, and I'm from the Rich Mix, and this is my new podcast. And I'm really lucky to have Ida on board today. And welcome, Ida. Thanks for coming on board.
Hi, thank you, Richard, for inviting me to do this
Yeah,
interview. Basically, it's going to be a chat, as I understood.
that's just a chat. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time, everyone. So it's just more of just a chat, see how things are going, and just really more of a catch up as well. So on what we've been up to. So um, so before we start, so Edith, let me know a little bit about your journey in becoming a CEO and the founder of Eyebrow Experts in Sydney, because you've been doing this now for a long time.
Um, yeah, I've been doing it for a very, very, very long time. It seems like it was a different era, different kind of life at that time. I always was very curious, very interested in beauty, fashion, styling, and presenting. And sometimes it's also how you present yourself, how people will perceive you, how people see you. It's an
Yeah,
art in a way as well.
yeah, yeah, one
Um,
hundred percent.
and and yeah, and my background is I was born in a different country. I was born in Uzbekistan, and presentation is everything. Women are
Yeah,
beautiful, women feminine, women understand them, how to seduce and how to make beautiful food and make beautiful hair, that kind of, it's all very, very traditionally um, passed to generation in that culture. So
yeah,
even though I'm
yeah,
not Uzbek, but I was born in Uzbekistan, which is a
yeah,
former Soviet Union slash, it's a
yeah.
Muslim country.
And you've had a very interesting life because whereabouts is your business based?
It's in Double Bay. It's
Double
a
Bay. Yeah,
very good location, and
yeah,
when I did my trainings in the past, you always look for the best location ever. It's
yeah,
like McDonald's. It's not the best food, but location
yeah.
is location is location.
100%, especially this type of top end service. It's not cheap, so you really want a clientele that can afford it, and a lot of it as well. Especially like in Double Bay, people, they're not really going looking in their bank account before they go and get a service. They just want it. They want it done by the best as well in the area. So I think
Yes.
that's awesome. So leading on to that, you wrote a book as well, and so what inspired you to write that first book, the Brazilian waxing queen, and then the ultimate brow guide? You did both, didn't you?
I did both, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually was heavily pushed by my own clients because every
yeah,
time, when you're doing a treatment, it's very intimate, it's very personalized.
yeah.
It's all the its and bits of people's life, what's happening, and
Oh, is
they
there something you can
confining
share
you.
now? Can you share something with us that's that
Look,
but
everything
you
in the
can't tell
book.
anyone? I won't tell
Get the
anyone.
book and you will know. It's a lot of everything is in the book, but not everything. I had to protect the privacy of people and be
Yeah,
loving and compassionate. But it's still I still could grabbed a lot of information and make it into light-hearted, fun kind of coffee book
yeah,
for in any party. You just and sometimes what my clients used to do is they used to open it just a kind of a page and just read and just have laugh and have a good
yeah,
fun about it. And
yeah,
actually, one of our client came from New York a few years ago, and she said to me, "Oh my God, I didn't know that you know Naomi Watts." And I'm
yeah.
like, Naomi Watts? I don't know Naomi Watts. She was like, oh my God, I met her at the party. And she's the one in New York who told me about you because she has your book on her coffee table. I
Oh
was
wow,
like,
how
oh
cool is
my
that?
God,
I said this. You should have said,
Naomi
"Listen,
Watts
get a photo
read
of
my
Naomi
book.
Watts with my book on the coffee table."
I know.
That'd be
I
cool.
know. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, yeah, the clients actually pushed me to it because people always used to say to me, I tell you things and you tell me things, and we always have good interaction, great time together when we doing the treatments. And it will be fun to have I'm sure you have a lot of stories. And I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of stories. And then I thought, what am I going to do with these stories? I'm not going to take it to the
Yeah.
grave. I'm just going to
Yeah.
write. And at that time, actually, it took me about a year or 2 years to write. And I actually was pregnant with my first child. And I was like, for some reason, had so much energy. I think that what
Yeah.
kids do to us. It has
Keeps you.
so
Yeah.
much like nesting energy. Um, yeah, I didn't even know where it was coming from.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and
Awesome.
it's actually what the first copy was delivered into my into the hospital the day when I gave
Yeah.
birth. It was beautiful. It was
Oh,
amazing.
that's
Very,
awesome. That'd
very,
be an awesome another
very
present that you
memorable time.
received. Oh, fantastic. So now how do you stay in forefront of
Yes,
like the
there
brow
was.
waxing technique? Yeah. So how do you stay ahead of the game with regards to learning new techniques? Especially you're known for this 7-minute Brazilian wax that you do.
Look, I'm a very good believer. There is nothing new. There is always
Yeah.
already there. You just need to
Yeah.
tap into it,
Just
and that's
just
where
tweak your
I love
technique.
practicing.
Yeah.
Manifestation and energy work.
Yeah.
And what you just do, you just basically, that's what I did.
Yeah.
When I arrived to Australia, no one was doing Brazilian like 7 minutes. Everyone was like 45 minutes. And so
Yeah.
eyebrows was hideous. And what I started doing it, I started challenging myself, not
Yeah.
against the other people. Are they doing half an hour? Are they doing 40 minutes? Are they doing 20 minutes? What I was doing, I was purely challenging myself. Okay, so I did to yesterday 10 minutes. Can I beat it? Can I do something different? And then it's ended up 7 minutes. And actually, honestly, there was time when it was just 5 minutes, but I just kind of like that 7 minutes. It's like a
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
of it. So,
Yeah, that's really
you
cool.
know,
And seven's a good number. Seven's a good number. So yeah, so
but
you it's really just practicing techniques more than anything else, and trying to fine tune those techniques to be a lot better at some of those treatments.
yes, yes, yes. Because if something works really well, why do we need to change it? Yep.
So you've had a real diverse clientele with from celebrities to housewives. How do you ensure each client receives a unique, high quality experience?
Yeah, it's all comes down to a customer service. You look at the people, and the best thing you do is you be there. You be there. They give them the time. Don't rush
Yeah,
the treatment and be
yeah,
very present. I'm like at
yeah,
anywhere else. Like when we're not present, relationship is going to go to you know
100%.
a
Yeah,
rubbish bin. But it's just about you creating already a relationship with your clients, so you need to make sure you are super present and you listen, really listen. And
yeah,
when you listen, when they let you to tell you what they want and how they see and what's the imagination, what the fantasy about the whatever it be, eyebrows or anything, whatever they want to do in life. It's all it comes down to good listening, be
mhm,
present, and just be open-minded. Like sometimes
yeah,
they can tell you a couple of tricks when you haven't even thought about it. It's just basically
yeah, yeah,
sometimes like you learn about not just about your clients from your clients sometimes. So
yeah,
just
yeah.
basically be
No,
present and do your job to the 100%
yeah, no,
every
definitely. So,
time.
and you've been featured in a lot of magazines and publications in the media as well. How has that exposure impacted on your business and your own personal brand?
It was amazing. It was
Yeah,
amazing. At the time when it was so crucial for the business for eyebrow experts. It was so crucial for when I'm saying crucial is to make sure that um, you give this interview to people, and people, you pass it on your knowledge. And that time there was a like very kind of a niche in a way. No one was doing anything,
yeah,
and I was, blessed. There was opportunity for me to do all that, and you know, I did with publicity, with celebrities. I also used to do touring around Australia and teaching
yeah. How
people. I
exciting!
had a lot of
Yeah,
students who were coming from Hong Kong, from
yeah,
New Zealand, other parts of the. I had someone from actually Tampa, in
yeah,
in Miami. So it was amazing. I think it was a very,
yeah,
very important time for me, and I could
yeah.
do it and I could
Fantastic.
pass it on. And I love teaching people. I just love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's something else you do because you work as a trainer as well, and you've been doing that for many years. which is fantastic.
Yes.
And you've done a lot of that over the years. And I know you're very passionate about your craft.
Um, I'm very, very passionate about my craft, and I'm also open, and I'm not afraid of teaching, because a lot
Yeah,
of people, they would hold on to it, to their gifts,
yeah,
and it's my life. It's all about to educating and empowering and pass it on to people. There is no
100%.
point
Yeah,
to hold on to it.
yeah,
And
definitely.
just probably because I truly understand that nobody's going to be like me. And when I train,
Yeah,
I always say, don't worry, you do your best job, you be
yeah,
present, and nobody's going to do the job just like you
yeah,
do. Never. And if the
definitely.
clients love you, they will be there. And
Yeah,
don't, your client, it doesn't mean it's going to be forever. People come and
yeah,
go. Be comfortable with that.
yeah. No, no, awesome. So, have you had any challenges like that you faced with building the brand and in the business? Has there been any times in your life in the last, 10, 15 years that you've had, some major challenges that has affected you personally and the business?
Challenging. I mean, COVID.
COVID, yeah, all
COVID
of
did
us. COVID
a
disaster.
lot of restriction. It was really hard. It was, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was so hard when they close in the beauty businesses for first 3 months, and then next year 4 months. That was really tough.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I guess it for everyone was tough. Um, but before COVID, I think it's usually the people sometime when you find and you train. I think, but
yeah,
every business owner kind of faced with that when you train people, and they stay with you, but then you understand, then the life changes, they get pregnant, they move
yeah,
to another country. It's always a little bit hard because you train them, you
yeah,
invest so much time and love, care, and then they do an
yeah,
amazing job, but then they have to move on, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, that's probably challenging. But again, it's for, as everyone, life goes on.
That's the thing. Look,
Hmm.
staff are the biggest issue. When you're in any form of service business, staff is a big issue. They
Yeah.
come, they learn, and then they think, you know what, I can do this myself and run my own business, and they just move on. And it is heartbreaking because you put so much love and faith in them, especially with yourself and for your clients. And when they move on, it's like heartbreaking and upsetting, for you. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
very, very
interesting,
hard.
I don't really worry if they will open something else again. I don't worry
Yeah,
if they, because
yeah, yeah,
I always have a good understanding about that. But it's time, your time, you spend so much time with them and you can't take it back.
yeah. No, no, awesome. So, can you share any like memorable stories or transformations from your career that really stand out?
Um, I have a very lovely woman. That was actually just not a long time ago. I think she was 77. Well, she's
Yeah,
still alive with us. I think
yeah, yeah, cool.
77, and her husband passed away like 10 years before that. And she came to the clinic, and she said to me, "Listen, I want to do a really good transformation because I got a date on
Yeah,
Tinder."
oh,
So
awesome. Hey,
I had
cool.
so much pressure to create a beautiful look with her eyebrows
Yeah,
and
awesome.
her, so she looks
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
beautiful, even more beautiful. Yeah, so she was, because that day she was like, "I'm going on a date." That
yeah. And
was
how did she
that
go?
was
And
funny.
how did she go on the
And
date?
it's good one. I don't even know. She hasn't been back yet.
God, tell her, mate. What's going on? I want to know what's
I don't
happening. We
know.
need the goss.
It, it,
Yeah,
I really was itching to give her a call or text. How did you go? But I kind of got busy and forgot about that.
busy.
But I think
No,
that was
that's all
about
right.
like 3 months ago. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hope she's
So,
fine.
so what advice would you give entrepreneurs aspiring to make their mark in the beauty industry? Someone that's young and wants to get in and open their business. What advice would you give them?
I probably would say that the best thing is just make sure you discipline yourself in what, like,
Mhm.
is, what you want, and then make sure you discipline yourself, because cut out all the distractions, all the noise from
Yeah,
external forces, and make sure you're really driven, and if you're driven, if you're goal oriented, then you're going to achieve what you want. And the second thing I would say, would be sometimes if you want to start something your own, sometime maybe look around. Maybe there is already a business established and they're really
Hmm.
selling because they're going overseas. Maybe I think that would be a really good option for you to invest because
Yeah,
you ended up
acquiring a
paying for
business.
what
Yeah,
you would do while you already setting
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly. And then you all you need to do is just it's really good starting point.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just change the
No, very good
name
advice.
or carrying on the same name and just then yeah.
Yeah. Now it's been a few years. Like we've been talking for years, and last time I think we talked, or like sometime last year we
Yeah.
chatted. You went through a bit of a transformation. So you were known as Svetlana. Now it's Ida. Can you tell me the reason behind the name change?
The reason, well, I did it a couple of years ago. The reason was
Yeah.
because I went to from beauty. Parallel to
Mm.
that, I'm very interested in practicing spirituality, and
Yeah.
connection to a higher source. And that
Yeah.
was named very private, either for quite a
Yeah.
few years actually.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was given a permission to actually announce it and get a change, get it as a legal name. So
Yeah.
it's more spiritual. It's sometimes it's interesting. I'm a why person, and I often ask myself questions. It's like, why do we carry the name which was given to us by parents? And I always loved my first name,
Mm.
my birth name. Let's put it that way. But sometimes I wasn't really connected to it,
Mm.
and sometimes I feel like there is a split and in the name.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then when I actually g- g- was given this name Ida,
Yeah.
it's much more resonate with me, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting because when I was telling my friends about that I'm going to change my name, everyone was like, "Are you crazy? Why would you do that?" And they came
Mm.
up with all sorts of strange versions of what's going to happen. This, and I'm like, No, but that's how I feel." And
Yeah.
when I feel how I feel, I have to be really it's a strong feeling how I feel
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And since I changed the name a few years ago, a couple of years ago, some of them start changing the names too.
Yeah. Yeah. How funny is
It's
that?
just so funny. And they're like, "Oh my God, it's yeah." And they say to me, I actually went to numerologist and astrologist, and they put the name together. Apparently, that's why I had a bad luck in the past. That's why I had a bad
Yeah.
marriage or whatever it was. It was not together. It was something.
Yeah.
Now I understand why I do it. And I sometimes um, have these things I do in life out of blue, and people really kind of they don't resonate with that, but sometimes they do the same what I do. It's like I'm
Yeah.
a light worker. It's like I'm
Yeah.
holding the
Yeah.
torch. It's like in the
Yeah.
darkness for people. And actually that's the meaning of the name, Ida
Yeah.
Hikata. So
Ida, I
yeah,
love it. Beautiful
it's
name.
interesting
And
story.
and you're right
Sorry.
because like, we are born with a name that we didn't pick.
Thank you.
And and yeah, if you look at there's so many people that have got names they don't really like, so then they have to use a nickname. So, we get to change our clothes, where we live, what we do, what we eat. Why don't we change our name to what we want as well? We only got one life. And so yeah, awesome. Congratulate you on doing that, and you look so much happy. You're glowing. It's awesome. So looking ahead,
Thank you.
is there any like new projects or expansions in the business or for yourself that you've got planned for this year or going forward?
I have so many ideas. I just
Yeah,
matter of again, focus on them, being disciplined
yeah,
and
yeah,
just executing them. But it's so many ideas. It's like
yeah.
I just sometimes don't know which way to go. Too
I know.
many.
Yep. So when did you? So obviously you migrated to Australia. When did you actually come to Australia? What year was that?
Can't remember what year was it. It was 23 years ago or whatever year was
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. 2001.
Yeah, I have a sister. She's an older
Yeah.
sister. She's 7 years older, and she lives in the Gold Coast with her husband.
Ah, awesome. Yeah, yeah, cool. And you still go back to go overseas a lot, like travel to Uzbekistan. You've just got family there, or anyone there,
I
or everyone's here.
I only been there back like twice in 23
Yeah,
years.
Yeah.
I know it's very naughty. First one
Yeah. Yeah.
was, was good. Second was good. But it just, I would like to go there a little bit often. But when you have a business and you have kids, it's usually
Kids. Oh,
sometimes
it's
a
very
little bit
hard.
difficult. But yeah, maybe it's just an excuse again.
I excuse all the, and we live on the other side of the world as well. That's the other problem. Traveling there is a pain in the
Yeah,
bum. But
yeah,
no, that's fantastic. Well, one of my goals is doing a lot more traveling, getting out and about, and yeah, meeting more people, and yeah, and being healthy. Because it's funny because as we get older, I'm 53 this year, and I look at you look at your life, and you're like, oh my god, it's like there's only this little window now of opportunity to do things, and so especially with younger kids, so it gets to a point where you just like you need to really make the best out of every day that you have. You know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Be present. Yeah.
that the 100%. So no, very exciting. So anything else exciting you want to share with me?
I don't know. Life is
Yeah,
very exciting. Just
yeah,
life is, the kids' life.
yeah,
2024 is a pretty good year where we are now. It's 8th of March. Actually, today is 8th of March. It's Women's Day in Europe.
yeah, yeah. Also,
I know in Australia we
well,
don't celebrate it here, but it's huge in Europe.
in Europe, is it? Yeah, awesome. So with obviously with the coaching, you do a bit of coaching on the other side. So where do you split your time between both businesses, or is it another business, or it's just something you're passionate about, the coaching side of it?
I don't really call it as a business because
Yeah,
when you're a light worker and when you counselor, coach, healer, whatever you call it, it's not really become a business. It's more,
just
it's
a
more
passion.
non-profit. It's more like
Yeah,
practice.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you take it seriously. It's not just,
yeah,
it's not a hobby, but it's not something. It's like a as a business. So I call
yeah,
it practice.
yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
and and I do it. I pretty much do it 50-50 now.
Hmm.
And I don't advertise. I have clients through referrals only,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's been growing really steady since few years now.
yeah. And how long you been doing it for now? Practicing?
It's been now for about 6-7 years.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a while. So yeah, no, it's really good. And change is always good. It's always good for your mind and for your soul. Anyway.
Yeah, and it's again, it's all to do with my clients again being
Yeah,
present because I remember when people used to come and used to say to me, "No, I want to book in with you," and the option they always had an option to book with one of the staff, which would be like, half price of
yeah,
doing services, and then we used to
yeah.
always select, no, 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 you. And I never actually understood why it was only me until quite few clients, their feedback was extraordinary because they say to me,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's not just what you do, it's how you do it. You make me, I feel lighter, I feel happier.
Yeah,
And when you
yeah,
tell me something, things happen, or you suggest something and it's doable, it's better than, I go to other practitioners, it's better."
yeah,
And that's when
yeah,
it's actually pushed me to do the then professional trainings and invest in a, professional trainings. And when
yeah,
people, and it's a very good and in a way in a business services because you're already like a counselor,
yeah, yeah.
like
You know how to deal with
hairdresser.
your clients, got that
um,
extra edge. Yeah,
Exactly. So,
yeah,
and then it became as, okay, if you just want to talk and do the session treatments, that's fine. But if you want a professional um, session, then I can also book you in. So the people go a little bit more in a different way, shifting. Like it's much,
yeah,
they actually get what they paid for, and the
yeah,
results
yeah.
speak for
And
itself. So, and that's how it came. And when sometimes people ask me, the people who didn't know anything about the beauty business,
yeah,
they only see me as a counselor or hypnotherapist coach.
mm,
And then when I mention something about beauty, and they say, "Oh my God, you?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah,
And they're like, "Oh my God, this is incredible." And then people
yeah, yeah,
who only saw me as a beauty person,
Yeah.
when they find out about counseling, coaching, hypnotherapy, they're like, oh, yeah, I can see you because you've been listening my stories for a long time,
Forever.
and you
Yeah.
never really intrude and never offered your coaching or counseling. You're very understanding, but how come you never told me about it? And I said, well, because I understand you coming for these services, and if you will need one day, you will inquire about that services because it's,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, okay, well, can I book in? Can I try? Yeah, it comes hands in hands. It's very interesting. And then again, and I remember it's actually from our industry. Remember, like there are a few
Yeah.
actually cosmetic tattoos who actually
Yeah.
now doing the coaching and
Do that.
counseling
Yes.
too. Do you know
Yes.
that?
They do a lot of. Yes, they do a
Yeah.
lot of
And I thought, oh
abundance
my
type
God, before
coaching
me,
and
yeah, it
yeah.
never happened before me, but now it's like
Because I
it's
think it's because you're
interesting.
meeting a lot of people, you're talking to a lot of people, and it brings something from
Yeah.
inside you anyway that wants to come out. And I've been doing a lot of training in, in what do you call it, um, mindfulness, just manifestation and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's awesome. And I think there's a lot to talk about there, but that's something we have to do in our next podcast. We're going to dig a bit
Yep.
deeper into that side of your life, and it's very interesting. And yeah, and I can't wait to talk to you again about it. So thank you,
My
Ida.
pleasure.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for joining me today. And yeah, we'll obviously catch up soon for another take two. All right.
Yep. Beautiful. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy the sun, and we will chat soon.
Thanks, Richard. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Talk soon.